instead of like bashing HR and everything, which is not what we're doing. We're giving the realities. This is disruptive because people, it's uncomfortable to hear these things. It's uncomfortable for an HR person to hear these things. But the empathy is this, and we're not being nice, but we're being very kind, because the empathy is the fact that we know there is a loneliness, an loneliness, a punchy bag mentality that you feel in HR. You have felt it, I have felt it, and we know that so many of our HR colleagues and friends have felt that punch. And it's a lonely profession. Yeah. So we know that. But how do we begin transforming that mindset for those leaders that are so fearful of relinquishing any sort of control? Because at the end of the day, none of us are really in control.
Right.
And how do you shift that control ego mentality? But being able to at least align to strategy, because in the Army, you align to, and in the Air Force, you align to the mission, and the mission's going to be different for whatever deployment that you go on, what your assignment is going to be. Our mission is this, and then you align because you've been trained, agile performance, everything. So you align to that. How do we begin allowing a safe space for those leaders to say, to recognize the ego, drop that, and start releasing what they think they're in control of, to start making these improvements?
Ooh.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's a tough one. I think a very ambiguous statement. I feel like a lot of the times it kind of goes back to the whole, do your Kegel exercise, have, the balls or any other, significant.
Do your Kegels have the balls, have the gumption, have the grit?
Yeah, exactly. Have those open and honest conversations with your leadership.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm hoping that most people who are in HR got hired into that position because of their, background and their experience.
Right.
Having those open conversations. I know personally for me, when I would have it and being in those entrepreneurial companies where I would say, no, I don't agree with that, and here's why. Here's the repercussions, down the road, or here's why we shouldn't do this because this is what could happen, or this is not setting a good image for us. I think that is important. Again, it goes back to that. Think of the operational mindset. Operation looks down the road a lot of the time. Look, take it that way. Talk to the talk that they're used to, that they're comfortable with, and say, okay, here's why if we do it this way, it's going to cause this ripple effect. I think as simple and cliche as it sounds, the pros and the cons of, hey, yeah, this is why this is a good idea, but this is also why it's not a good idea.
Yeah.
And a lot of the times I feel like in HR, we've become simply yes man. Like we're a yes man. Yes. All right. Okay. All right. I'll do that.
I'll do it.
I'll send out another memo.
I don't want to lose my job. I'll do it.
I'll send out another memo. I'll put that in, revise the handbook for the 19th time this year, and it's only, February 3rd, and I will send that out. It's like, no, we're not going to do that. Talking back. You can talk back as HR. Yeah. And even as I said it out loud now, I think it comes to that point of what you said earlier about...
And that's not insubordination.
It's not insubordination.
That's using your voice.
It's using your voice, and it goes back to, like you said earlier, as HR, so many HR professionals are used to being... They're there to protect the company. Yeah. Use that to your advantage. Spin it. Say, here's how I'm going to protect the company, but at the same time... Here's how I benefit the employees. One thing that I'm a big thing on is I do not, whenever I've done consulting or I've written handbooks, I never write employee handbooks as employee handbooks. I call them success guides. Here's how you're going to be successful in this company, and this is how the company is going to help you be successful. Not, here are the rules to live by, and if you step out of line, here's what happens. And I worked for a company where the HR director had rewritten the handbook when she came on board. And I'm telling you, this thing, it was a page turner. Like you would sit there and need a bubble bath to get through it because it was over 80 pages long.
Oh my God.
Black and white, Times New Roman 12 font. And and there was a section, like a 2-page section bulleted on here's what you do not do that will get you fired.
They could have wrote a book.
Oh, it should have
not
been
a handbook. They could have wrote a book about their life, but instead they wrote a handbook.
I mean, you could have made it into an audio book, and like listen to it on your drive up to Minnesota to Branson.
Pause. We need to do that. We need to have another show where we actually read through a large employee handbook, story time. Well, boys and girls, just
Chapter 7, benefits.
Just who reads that shit?
No one.
I want someone. Email hello@bsgconsulting.org. And if you read an entire employee handbook, I mean front to cover, and you read it, I want you to email me because I'm going to have you on my show and I'm going to ask you what you learned.
Right, exactly. And exactly. It's like, people, I mean, that was always the jokes I always had for companies like that, where I'm like, I know you're not going to read this on company time. Go home, get drunk and read it.
Yeah,
I don't
sign
know.
the form.
Sign the form, please. And then, use it to level out your desk at home or use it for clay pigeoning. I don't know. But, that's the sad thing is companies are like that. That's their mindset. It's like, change that mindset.